strength next week. All of our regular guests are continuing through, and one of the favorites is the guy who was the longtime writer on technology for USA Today. Now he does Photo Walks, which is a magnificent series, and he joins us on Thursdays for Tech Thursday. Please, a warm Mark Thompson Show welcome for the great Jefferson Graham. Hi, Jefferson Graham.
Thank you. Hi, Mark. I'm in a hotel room in Solvang, California today. So it looks a little different. Yes. I
like the change in background. I hate to say it. I really think it looks cool, though.
Yeah. Fancy hotel.
Looks like you paid for the upgraded hotel room, did you? I mean, it looks a little roomier than a regular hotel room.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the space. But I was out photo walking at 6:30 this morning. Beautiful. Wait till you see it.
I'm excited. So again, Photo Walks TV is the YouTube series, and it's terrific. I love the series. You can needle drop that series. In other words, you can just go to any one of them and bang, hit play, and you'll love it. And you'll learn stuff. And it's your dad, Jerry Graham, I love that Bay Area Backroads series that he started. And I was at Cron back then when he started it. And there's a piece of your dad in the way you take us to all of these different places. It's really quite cool, man.
Well, thank you. It runs in the genes, right?
It does. And I'll just say, you add all the current contemporary things you can do with an iPhone or Android phone, and that's kind of the added value. It's not just a walking tour. It's where you can get great pics and how you can get great pics. So what do you have for us today? There was rumor of a major announcement.
Speaking of cameras, Samsung announced
their wait, Albert, this is a major announcement. Can we please?
A major announcement from the Mark Thompson Show. A major announcement.
Now, sir, please.
Okay. Samsung announced their new lineup, their new phone lineup yesterday. They tend to go in February, where Apple goes in September. And so it's a bunch of new Galaxy phones, more expensive, pretty much kind of the same as the last year's phones, except the big gimmick, which is the top of the line $1,200 model, has a 200 megapixel image, not an image sensor, but it can shoot photos at 200 megapixel compared to your most iPhones, which are 12 megapixel.
What?
Which Mark is saying, so what, right?
I'm asking you why that's important.
Sharper resolution. Isn't that
something we all want? Aren't we all going for sharper resolution in every aspect of our life, Jefferson Graham?
We want it. It's mostly gimmicky because most big cameras are 24 to 48 megapixel, and they're 200 megapixel is just taking a bunch of megapixels and merging them all together into a hodgepodge of photos. The bottom line is that according to Samsung, you'll be able to get better shots in low light. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm a skeptic. What the Galaxy phone does have that beats the iPhone camera is a 10x zoom. The best we have is a 3x zoom. So, and that's digital zoom. I'm sorry, optical zoom. So you can get basically the equivalent of a 200 millimeter lens, which I would love to have on the iPhone. If Samsung can do it, let's have it on the iPhone. I prefer the iPhone operation, the whole Apple world, so I'm not a Galaxy fan. But some people swear by it.
I have used the Galaxy phone in the past. As a matter of fact, I'm a new iPhone user. But when I had my Galaxy, people used to comment on the quality of my pictures all of the time. What I noted, I kind of pulled the picture up while you were talking. You can see there's the one in the middle, there's looks like five circles for the camera. That's a lot. Why so many?
That's a lot. It's just different lenses, different choices. My problem with the Galaxy phones is there's so many gimmicks that when you play with them, they seem cool the first time, but then they're not as much fun. I find the image quality better on the iPhone, but what can I tell you? I'm biased on that one. I'd love to go try the Galaxy S23 and see what's going on. In other tech news, I think it's pretty cool that last week on the show.
Jeff,
okay,
stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I'm
After
sorry.
the major announcement, we have to
You're the host.
that was the major announcement. Please, would.
This has been a major announcement on the Mark Thompson Show. Major announcement.
Jeff, I don't know how you do your show, but we have processes and protocols and standards. So that's
Yeah,
what we
okay.
do. Okay, now please continue, sir.
Last week on this show, I told everybody about how to get Showtime for free by subscribing to Showtime to watch everything everywhere all at once and then unsubscribing immediately.
And did
And then
Showtime
you get
call you?
30 days of free service. Okay. Now
Jefferson,
Jim
was it
Avalos
Showtime?
said, yeah, but Jeff, you'll be forced to actually watch that movie. Good luck with that. And I'm with them on that. I tried twice and I couldn't get very far. But
Not
here's
a
the
lot of
news
love
that
for everything everywhere. Yeah, go ahead.
the what I find really interesting. So a week ago, I told you how to get it for free. This week, Showtime has been disbanded. It's been bundled into Paramount Plus.
Oh.
Goodbye, Showtime. A week later. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So even as we were recommending it, we didn't know it, but on the inside, they were on their last leg.
Yes, it's going to become effective later in the year. It hasn't become effective now. And I think that on cable, Showtime will be called Paramount Plus. And on web,
That's not
on
fake.
streaming,
That's
it's
real.
going to be Paramount Plus with Showtime.
More and more, Jefferson Graham, won't that be the way things go? There are just so many. I think Kim was commenting on it last week that there's so many different services. It was supposed to, I think her point was, be less expensive. And, you know, if you cut the cord and just have all these different streaming services, but there are also many, you know, they're $9.99 to $13.99, $5.99 here. I mentioned that I didn't even realize that I had Paramount Plus actually was the one. It's $9.99 until I got the bill. Like, oh my God, that's right. I have Paramount Plus. I was watching that Godfather movie, like the making of the Godfather. Anyway,
that was a good one.
Won't they all become consolidated? Is my point.
Yes, because there's only room for. Well, they used to say there was room for 2.5, whatever that means, right? And I don't know, 3. But you know, so HBO Max is turning into a service called Max because it's going to be HBO Max plus Discovery Plus. I don't want Discovery Plus. I couldn't care less about Discovery Plus. I don't need it. So I think that's an ill-fated, dumb move. But that's the way the media companies are going, is they're just pushing everything together and claiming that there'll be more content when in fact there'll be less content.
You know, this is such an interesting thing you've just pointed out, and I hadn't really thought of it until just now when you pointed it out. Our cable or satellite or however you get the sort of mainstream, I'm going to call it an older school way to get television viewing, it's filled with stuff we don't want to watch. Most of the channels are things we don't want to watch. I'm in my hospital room with my dad, when my dad's in the hospital, and I'm flipping through, you know, different channels, and there are, I don't know, 70 of them, and I'm just trying to get to ESPN or to the news or to something that I thought, you know, might be, or comedy. I wanted something maybe positive and fun in the show, or a classic movie. Anyway, I'm wading through so much stuff. So the great thing about getting the one of the services you've described is you begin to sector those things that you like. But if you bundle it all together, it's going to end up being the same jumble of crap that I've got to wade through in traditional television.
Yeah, and good luck finding anything. I mean, that's a lot of work, right? Finding stuff on there through all those tiles. You know, PhotoWalks is on Amazon right now. And so people say, well, that's great. You're on Amazon. Good luck finding it. Good luck. Unless you do a search for my name, you might find it. By the way, I just want to let you know that I never travel without this guy. So,
how about that?
But now that I know PhotoWalks is on Amazon, I can go look for it and watch you on the big screen.
Right. So I'll just have to be louder about promotion.
That's right.
But you can watch them on the big screen on YouTube already. You know, if you have YouTube on the TV.
Yeah, which I think
Jeff, I do. There it is, PhotoWalks TV, and there's his QR code if you want to grab it. I'll leave it up there for a second. While we're looking at that, if there's any other tech news, please share it. I'm taking any questions for Jeff in the chat that I'll pass on to you. Where did Hulu wind up? Asks SF Tesla. I think Hulu's still up there, isn't it? I mean,
Hulu is still there. The question mark is what happens at some point next year. Comcast, which owns 1/3 of it, and Disney owns 2/3. Does Disney buy Comcast's 1/3, or does Comcast buy Disney's 2/3? I think the logic is that Disney will keep it because they'll get a lot more out of it than Comcast would. Oh, speaking of Comcast, I have more streaming news for you, which is that Peacock, which initial tier was free, has been shelved. And so now it's a minimum of $4.99 if you want to see the old NBC shows with ads, or $9.99 if you want to see the NBC shows and original programming. For the, once again, here we go, paying for more money. Somebody asked about Netflix password sharing.
Before you get to the Netflix, I want to just piggyback on the Peacock, because Peacock is an interesting story, and it's a technology story. Peacock started in this, as you know, awful way. They were listing horribly, looked like they would sink. Really, they were viewed as almost a laughingstock of the streaming community. They did very, very poorly on their rollout. There wasn't enough content. It was suggested that the content that was there was sort of rerunny, blah, blah, blah. Cut to now, Peacock is the number 2 streamed network. It's the number 2 streaming service out there. They went from, if you will, worst to almost first. So it's kind of a real story of kind of back from the dead when you look at the Peacock world.
It may be back from the dead, but it ain't number 2. Number 2 would be Hulu. Oh, actually, number 2 would be Disney Plus. So Netflix, Disney Plus, followed by Hulu.
Well, if you want accurate information, don't come here. Let me. I will find it for you. But I thought they said that.
Trust me.
Right.
It's coming back.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's coming back. It's coming back. But yeah, it's most of us thought that would be the first to go. I also thought Paramount Plus was ready to go too, but I'm surprised they're still there. But they're still there.
Now you were talking about Netflix and sharing password. I think that was the question.
Yeah, they've announced that they'll be cracking down on the password sharing. They haven't announced how they're gonna crack down, and that's expected anytime in the next few weeks.
Any other questions before we get into the recommending of shows?
Yeah, I hear that Poker Face is great. This is a new series that got really good reviews. It's supposedly very much like Columbo, and it's with Natasha Lyonne, who we first met in Orange is the New Black, that was on Netflix.
Have you been following the whole TikTok thing?
About let's outlaw TikTok in the United States?
Yeah, well, there's a congressman now, a Democrat, who's saying he's asking Apple and Google to kick TikTok out of their app stores. Doesn't want it in there even at all.
Yeah, Michael Bennett, the senator from Colorado, because TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and if the Chinese government asked for anything, they would have to hand it over. This has been going on for several years. Trump tried to ban it, and then that sort of went away. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't understand why they just don't sell the company to somebody over here and erase this issue, but they have it. The fact that this U.S. senator is calling for this is big news. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Isn't it the case, though, that the Chinese government does own TikTok? I mean, I guess they own everything.
No, Chinese company. Well, I'm not up on Chinese politics. A company called ByteDance owns it, but I guess Chinese government can do whatever they want with anything that's there, right?
Right. So the idea is that somehow data that is supplied by the company to the Chinese government puts Americans under the umbrella of surveillance from the Chinese government. I mean, at least that's one of the arguments I think against it. Yeah.
Right. So if we do a video at your house of you doing an outro to your YouTube video and we put it on TikTok, they now have your location, the Chinese government.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, there's very little at my house that they would want, but on the other hand,
I wonder though, if you put something, if you censor something like that and say, okay, Apple and Google, kick it out of your app stores, which really makes it not available to most people, isn't that kind of the same as outlawing it in the United States in a way? I mean, if you make it inaccessible.
You make it inaccessible to new customers, but all those phones that have it, unless Apple could disable it, Google couldn't, because Android is Samsung and Google and LG and all these different phone companies all over the world. I don't think Google would be able to disable TikTok, but who knows?
Yeah.
Jefferson Graham, if there are no other questions related to technology or anything we can address, by the way, YouTube TV is getting a lot of love. You like YouTube TV, as I recall, Jefferson Graham, do you not? No, you do not. Jefferson Graham does not like YouTube TV.
No.
Once again, my recollection.
$65 a month, and you're paying for a whole bunch of channels that I don't want to watch.
I love YouTube TV, says Denise, local channels and unlimited DVR, but you don't like it because you're saying, so you feel the optimal plan is what? Is there one, or does it really depend on who you are?
Well, Sling TV is half the price, and it just depends on what cable channels you want. Do you want to watch cable channels? I don't, but Mark, you may. And Kim, you may. I cut the cord. I really cut the cord. So the only thing I have is, I have the Fire TV and the menu that comes up on there. And so I have the streaming services and an antenna. Somebody else had written about an antenna. Antennas are great. I mean, I get all the local channels on the antenna, and then I watch a whole lot of YouTube. But I don't watch YouTube TV. I watch YouTube itself for the clips, for great programming like the Mark Thompson Show live every day, Monday through Friday.
That is brilliant. Very well said. Thank you. I'll just note this as a as a public acknowledgement. Jeff is the guy who helps us with the thumbnails every day and the titling on the show. So thank you. Yeah, it really is special, and it's a real cool thing he does. He does it so solid. Okay, quickly in the last couple seconds, what happens is if you're new, Jeff will play a little bit of a TV theme on his guitar. You in the chat have to identify the TV theme, and we begin.
Now, I first want to say, let the audience select what song am I about to play? What do they think I'm about to play today?
Is it a TV theme?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
Anybody have any guesses?
Oh, you mean without even...
Make our dreams come true. That's right. We're doing our way.
Do we know that, audience?
Laverne and Shirley.
Okay.
Very nice, right?
Did we know that, folks?
I know that theme, but I don't know what it is.
Is it the Tonight Show? Entertainment Tonight?
It's Entertainment Tonight, exactly. Yeah. Very well done, Kim. Come on.
Okay.
Very strong.
This is going to stump the crowd, so I'll be really surprised if they get it. But let's try it.
Area Backroad.
No. People's Court, somebody said.
Misha.
So, Misha, bravo. Not easy. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Wow. I have to say that was those are tougher. Kim was strong on the pickup, and then the audience was strong on the rest.
Okay, I'm going to give one more to say goodbye to.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Y'all come back now, you hear? He is with us on Thursdays. Jefferson Graham, we love you, and we thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Always fun. Thank you, Jefferson. Bye. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.